Welcome to the General Patton Memorial Museum. We opened our doors on November 11th, 1988, which just happened to be General Patton's 103rd birthday. The museum was founded by Margaret Chiriaco Summit and Leslie Cohn to preserve the history of General George S. Patton Jr., World War II, and the Desert Training Center. The museum is owned and operated by a nonprofit, the General Patton Museum, Inc. Our very first display is here in the MWD lobby, and it's called The Big Map. In 1988, the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California donated the Big Map to the General Patton Museum. It weighs close to 5 tons. We are now entering the West Wing. We opened the Shandy West Wing and the Matzner Tank Pavilion on November 11, 2018. The West Wing focuses on General Patton's early life and military career, as well as the major battles of World War II. Entering on the right side, the focus is on the history of General Patton's family. Military and leadership are part of Patton's heritage that would shape Patton from a young boy to one of America's greatest generals. We call this the Cousins Wall, as it pictures some of the American military commanders who assisted our allies in defeating the evil Axis, Nazi Germany, Italy, and Japan. The Barker Foundation Library was officially opened on November 11, 2021. The library contains more than 5,000 books that focus on General Patton, World War II, and the Desert Training Center. All of the books you see were donated to the museum. Here we have more than 100 notebooks that contain bibliographies of the veterans. These were all put together by Pete Minix, a Vietnam veteran, to save the histories of these veterans. The notebooks contain service records, stories, interviews, pictures, commendations, etc. In World War I, the tank was a new weapon. When the U.S. Army decided to form a tank corps in late 1917, Captain Patton volunteered to help create the completely new force. Patton learned all he could about tank designs, operation, and repair from the leading Allied experts. A quick learner, Patton soon set out to establish the first training school for U.S. tank crews in Langres, France. The war had been raging for 4 terrible years by this time. Patton set out to train his troops on the tactics preparing them for battle, helping to achieve the ultimate Allied victory that November. After Germany's defeat in World War I, the Nazi Party, officially known as the National Socialist German Workers' Party, became active. This was a far-right political party in Germany that was active between 1920 and 1945 under the leadership of Adolf Hitler. The group promoted German pride and anti-Semitism and expressed dissatisfaction with the terms of the Treaty of Versailles, which ended World War I and required Germany to make numerous concessions and pay reparations. In 1933, Hitler became Chancellor of Germany, and his Nazi government soon assumed dictatorial powers. The surprise attack on Pearl Harbor at 7:55 a.m. on the morning of December 7, 1941, by the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service lasted 2 hours and killed 2,403 people. The U.S. was at the time a neutral country. However, the attack led to the U.S. entering World War II. The U.S. military felt that North Africa was the first place they could defeat the enemy. In March of 1942, then Major Patton was tasked with finding a place to train American forces who would soon be required to fight in North Africa. With this in mind, Patton was impressed with the desert's endless terrain and soon established his headquarters at Camp Young that was near Chiriaco Summit, which today is known as Chiriaco Summit. Our USO room is our theater where we daily show the video The Sands of War that focuses on veterans who trained in the Desert Training Center in preparation for the campaign in North Africa. This room also contains memorabilia from Bob Hope and Al Jolson's USO tour, as well as the history of the USO and its most famous entertainers. As you can see on the right, we have a large display of weapons from different countries, including the United States, Russia, Germany, Great Britain, Japan, Peru, Turkey, Switzerland, and Czechoslovakia. All of the weapons you see were donated to the museum. While there are some weapons in various displays in the exhibits in both the East and West Wing, the majority are displayed here on this wall. Also in this hallway is an After Action Report, Volume 2 Staff Section Report. This is a complete record of what occurred and where it occurred from August 1, 1944, until the war in Europe was over on May 9, 1945. The East Wing is the original display area of the museum, which opened on November 11, 1988. This area contains a large collection of artifacts that have been donated to the museum over the years. One of the reasons to develop the museum was due to the fact that people visiting the desert would collect the items they found and bring them into the Bureau of Land Management office. BLM soon had more items than they could deal with. The General Patton Memorial Museum is the official repository for the Desert Training Center. While we concentrate on the life of General Patton, World War II, and the Desert Training Center, we do have displays of more recent conflicts, such as the operation in Iraqi Freedom and Desert Storm, as well as Korea and North Vietnam. We have a large collection of military vehicles in both the tank pavilion and vehicle yard. For example, inside the pavilion, we have at the front, on the left side, an M60 tank turret that you can look inside. On the right side, of special note, is a restored 1939 Cadillac, which is the same year and model of the car that General Patton was riding in when his fatal accident occurred. The museum is primarily funded by the sale of donor bricks that have been sold since the beginning. Originally sold to assist with the construction of the museum, they now continue to be sold and support operations and improvements. In recent years, we've added remembrance walls for Korea, Vietnam, and the Defenders of Freedom. These bricks and tiles can be purchased to honor the memory of those who served in the military or to whom freedom is important.